My GF's employer is demanding 16 months of overpayment. My GF has been working in a state-operated hospital for over 3 years. She's worked a few positions as she's been promoted within multiple departments. Most recently about 2 years ago. After her training she was initially put on the evening shift and paid the evening shift differential. She was subsequently moved to a mid-shift which had not been previously occupied. Without any formal notice she was confirmed by most of her coworkers that since the majority of her shift fell in the evening shift, she should still be receiving the evening pay, so she didn't look into it and noticed no change in her checks. This turned out to be false info since the evening differential didn't begin until 5 p.m. Fast forward 16 months and she has now received a written notice that she's been overpaid all this time of a sum close to $5,000. Along with this are a few options of repayment. Pay full amount. Withdrawal from subsequent paychecks no less than 10% of owed value. $500. Deduct sufficient balance from vacation, sick time with any excess owed to be paid separately. This error accounts for 10% of her annual salary, and to demand it be paid back within 10 paychecks is abhorrent. I will be able to cover her financially during this time, but it will undoubtedly put us into a hardship. As of now she feels like she has no other option than to burn all her sick, vacation time and immediately resign. Luckily we work in a city and a job market where her expertise is in high demand. Other than to purely vent our frustrations, I wanted to make this post to see if anyone has any advice or has experienced something similar. She plans on not being shy about the reasons for her departure, which was by no means her intention, and will be a surprise to many. We've found that within her union contract regarding overpayment recovery, the employer can't demand more than 5% of the employee's gross income in a pay period. So she at least plans to grieve this to buy some time. But it doesn't look like we can avoid the inevitable. Edit. For those asking, we are in WA state. Talk to your union and reach out to your local Department of Labor office. Like most people are saying, they can only go so far back. Definitely go to the union representative and make them adhere to the employment contract. Also, it would be worth checking into any state law limits on reimbursement. For example, I believe in New York they can only recover up to 8 weeks of overpayment prior to the date of notice. Thus, if they tell you on the 1st of August 23 that you were overpaid, they can only collect reimbursement through deductions for overpayments from the 6th of June 23 to the 1st of August 23. Of course, they might be able to sue to recover overpayment prior to the 6th of June 23. But they might not bother to do that. I am pretty sure there is a time limit on how far back they can demand the money. Go to the union first for assistance. Then check your state limitation on wage garnishment. Lastly, file a complaint with the DOL. They may investigate and audit the payroll, which often leads to collecting overtime, PTO and wage errors for all employees. For this, the employer needs to get a financial accountant to look into this matter, because you're looking at taxes, $401K, or whatever the equivalent is, sick time, leave time, anything medical that comes out of her check. I repeat, this needs to be the employer's responsibility, not the employee's. /4. An employer can recover an overpayment from an employee's paycheck provided the overpayment was infrequent and inadvertent. Infrequent means rarely, not occurring regularly, or not showing a pattern. Inadvertent means an error that was accidental, unintentional, or not deliberately done. The burden of proving the inadvertent error rests with the employer who made the error. The employer has 90 days from the initial overpayment to detect and implement a plan with the employee to collect the overpayment. If the overpayment is not detected within the 90-day period, the employer cannot adjust an employee's current or future wages to recoup the overpayment. Recouping of overpayments is limited to the 90-day detection period. https://app.leg.wa.gov/wac/default.aspx Site equals 296126030. So if you're in Washington state, I believe they only have 90 days to claw the money back. Overpayment Washington state. You can have it back over the same amount of time it accrued. Consult a lawyer. Despite her options being presented in a legal letter, these aren't her only options. I had a much larger garnishment, also in WA, completely wiped because the lawyers were dumb and lazy and didn't follow clearly defined procedures. They thought I would just capitulate. Simply state, I was told my pay would stay the same by management due to still working at night shift. I would not have agreed to this change in pay if properly notified. Per Washington State Law WAC 296,126,030, the employer has 90 days from the initial overpayment to detect and implement a plan with the employee to collect the overpayment. If the overpayment is not detected within the 90-day period, the employer cannot adjust an employee's current or future wages to recoup the overpayment. Recouping of overpayments is limited to the 90-day detection period. Hire a lawyer. Where I live as an employee, I can only go back 6 months to claim unpaid wages such as overtime, missed hours, shorted hourly pay and whatnot. If this happened to me, I would expect the employer to fall under those same rules. I'd tell them I'd repay them for the last 6 months and the rest they'll have to eat or take me to court for the rest. I'd simply reply back, advising you are seeking legal advice to understand her rights and position to ensure she is fully protected and advised as to any benefits or pitfalls. As she also will have been taxed on this money, I'd imagine she will likely receive some very quick communications which are more accommodating. In addition to calling her union rep, if she's not able to get a good resolution, I would really suggest reaching out to your state representative and state senator. If it's a state hospital, it's their purview. It wasn't your GF's mistake that the hospital overpaid her. They should deduct the $5,000 from the payroll department's budget since it was their error. Okay, so I've done some looking and here are a few things. You have to agree in writing to pay back an employer overpayment. An employer has a very limited time to recover those funds. As little as 90 days in TN. If an employer initiated a direct deposit reversal, you can contact your bank and deny it. Biggest thing is, you have to agree in writing, not verbally. None of this, employee acknowledged. Refused to sign garbage that gets in some paperwork. Again, there are laws specifically protecting employees from these things. And you don't have to give it back. Reading through the comments with various people saying they can or cannot reclaim this money, the solution seems obvious to me. OP needs to get some professional legal advice on what to do and if they cannot reclaim the money. Hi there, if your GF isn't a member of WSNA, she is most likely a member of either SEIU or AFSME. In my experience within the UW Med system, both are pretty robust. After 16 months it becomes patently ridiculous for an employer to try and recoup their mistake from the employee. Especially in a situation where a reasonable person would not believe they were doing anything wrong. As is the case with your GF. If for some reason your GF isn't covered by either SEIU or AFSME, then she should reach out to them. Know for a fact that this is the sort of thing they love to jump in on. Your GF shouldn't sign anything or make any agreements with first consulting any union resources and/or an attorney. Best of luck to you both. This truly sounds like some idiot trying to do a clawback to cover up their mistake. Don't let their error impact your lives. The employer has 90 days from the initial overpayment to detect and implement a plan with the employee to collect the overpayment. If the overpayment is not detected within the 90-day period, the employer cannot adjust an employee's current or future wages to recoup the overpayment. Recouping of overpayments is limited to the 90-day detection period. https://app.leg.wa.gov/wac/default.aspx Site equals 296,126,030 hash. Text equals the %20 employer %20 has %20 90% 20 days, wages %20 to %20 recoup %20 the %20 overpayment. Edit. Spelling check on mobile. I would post this to our legal advice to see what some of the lawyers say about this. Especially in Washington state. I'm willing to be there's something they're banking on you not knowing. Kinda like this one I found that explicitly says they can't do that. Jump down to section 5.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.